They say familiarity breeds contempt. It also breeds respect for tonight. Nearly 2 years to the day, this will be meeting number 18 between Edmonton and Dallas, the last two Western Conference finalists in each of the last 2 years. And that man has lifted his game in the playoffs against Dallas the last 2 years. Stuart Skinner, 8-3 with a save percentage of .923. Now his opposite number tonight, Jake Ottinger, will be backing up. He just had a child, so it's going to be Casey DeSmith, who, remember, 2 years ago as a Vancouver Canuck, beat Edmonton not once but twice, including a win late in the season that secured the division title for the Canucks. Jack Roslovic has been on a roll. You see the numbers over the last 5 games, back-to-back games with a power play goal. He'll be on a line with Leon Draisaitl and Vasily Podkolzin as Edmonton on the second of a back-to-back for the 3rd time this season, looking for their first win. Dallas coming off a shootout loss in Florida on Saturday. We're underway. Nurse and Woolman the deep pairing, and it's sent in deep, where DeSmith immediately turns it over. Going down awkwardly in the corner was Roslovic, cleared by Jason Robertson. The Stars are banged up, but here's Robertson firing off the rush. A save made, a rebound, and Rantanen could not get much on ultimately what turned out to be a backhander. If he's able to get it cleanly, it's 1-0 Dallas in the first 20 seconds.
That was a hot rebound of that Robertson shot, and he's got one of those shots that's deceptive. Goaltenders, it's hard to pick it up. Stuart Skinner fought it off aggressively, and you're right, big Mikko Rantanen was contested, just couldn't quite get full on that puck.
Sam Steele playing second-line center from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and that's because, again, Dallas is banged up. No Rope Hintz. No Jamie Benn, who suffered a collapsed lung in the preseason, and no Matt Duchene. All 3 guys can play center. Here's Bouchard, a quick dish just out the reach of Connor McDavid. Once again on the line with Nugent Hopkins and Mangiapane. Carried forth by Steele and shot in by Tyler Seguin, who these days plays primarily wing for the Stars, who check in with a record of 6-3-3 overall. Edmonton 6-5-3. Steele works himself free, tries to shovel down low. He assisted on all 3 Dallas goals in the loss to the Panthers on Saturday.
It looks like he's going to have the duty up against the McDavid line in this game tonight, as Glenn Gulletson putting that line together as a checking line, going toe-to-toe with Connor McDavid, and you saw Wyatt Johnston's line up against the Draisaitl line early, so the matchups have been set early in the game, and when you know that, you go out there and try and be better than the guy across from you.
Liam Bichsel off to Alex Petrovic, and now gaining the line is Colin Blackwell. What a massive goal he scored against Colorado in the playoffs last year. Dallas had a tough first-round series, then beat Winnipeg in round 2 before being knocked out by Edmonton in 5. Sent in deep by Trent Frederick. He got hammered by Bichsel. That was a hard shot on Frederick, who, remember, levied a massive hit on Colton Parayko last night in Edmonton's 3-2 loss to St. Louis. Here's Petrovic. Edmonton born the last couple years. It's so strange. He's played only 6 regular season games in the NHL, but he's been in both Western Conference final. And Adam Erne, another former Oiler, with a shot on net that's handled by Skinner.
Yeah, the first one by Robertson, though, he just has that deceptive shot. You look at his goal totals over the years, a 2-time 40-goal scorer, and he hasn't scored less than 29 in the last 4. And it's a juicy rebound, but it's an aggressive save here for Skinner. He's got to react to that shot with the left pad, and big Rantanen driving in there is contested en route, can't quite get a clean shot away.
Off the draw, Miro Heiskanen, generally considered a top 3 defenseman in the league, and a shot short side that's handled by Skinner. But I mentioned Petrovic and Erne for reasons, Louis. You have some admiration for guys who somehow worked their way back.
Yep.
Looked like they were going to finish their career in the AHL.
Been there myself. You get sent down, you're down there for a while, you want to grind to get back up in the National Hockey League. And Petrovic this morning said, hey, listen, I'm happy to be here. And when he's called upon, he's played very well for the Stars, and that's the key, and that's why he's made the team out of camp. And he's here right now, and he says he's loving it. It gives you that appreciation for being back in the National Hockey League, and he wants to keep going.
Another guy in that category is on the ice right now for the Stars, Kyle Capobianco, who, of course, started his career in Arizona. His last NHL goal came against the Oilers a couple years back. Erne with a centering pass, stolen and cleared by David Tomashik, who draws back into Edmonton's lineup tonight with Curtis Lazar taking a seat in the press box. And as Gene talked about, Regula in for Ty Emberson. A nice steal at the blue line by Jack Roslovic, who's been feeling it lately at both ends. He'll shovel down low, cut off by Thomas Harley, intercepted by Draisaitl, but the Oilers can't come up with a loose puck, and it's flipped out by the Dallas Stars. Tracked by Roslovic. With all the injuries Edmonton is facing with respect to Dallas, Louis, do you expect a different Stars club tonight? Here's Roslovic, one-timer score. We'll get to that. But Edmonton takes a 1-0 lead. We told you Roslovic's been feeling it. And Vasily Podkolzin buries his second of the year. Jack Roslovic able to fight a guy off, Louis, and feather one across.
Twice he was able to carry this puck over the offensive blue line. One on a good neutral zone pickoff on Mikko Rantanen. And this is transitional play. Chris Nov.04 was pretty vocal before the game of this. You need to score off the rush and find ways to create, and you have to defend the rush as well. If you're not going to win many games. If you are, you've got a great chance. This is just a strong play on Harley here by Roslovic. One-handed is able to eventually put this puck over and drive it right through. That's a one-handed pass over to Podkolzin, and Podkolzin buries it for a 1-0 lead. Get yourself to the post, present. Excellent pass by Roslovic.
I knew there was a reason you wanted to highlight him early. What a play. And that's against Thomas Harley, who just signed a $10.5 million 8-year deal. Here's a quick steal by Wallman, who fires up high, taken by Heiskanen. And the Stars find themselves trailing 1-0 as Edmonton, for the third game in a row now, gets the first goal. Wallman avoids traffic, got it to Mangiapane, who scored last night in the loss to St. Louis. Give Evan Bouchard a second assist on that scoring play. He's now up to 10 points on the year. McDavid hustles in, and again that play off the rush. Nugent Hopkins able to hunt down the loose puck. He was the intended target. Mangiapane still in the mix as Heiskanen works him over. McDavid to Wallman. Fires, and a save made by Casey DeSmith. 1-0 Edmonton.
Good follow-up shift to get into the offensive zone. Here's the outlet pass right here by Bouchard. Great strength by Roslovic. Watch this, one-handed. Thanks for coming out. I mean, fend off the check from Harley. The bench erupts after that one. A good start. As you heard Brett Kulak talking with our Gene Principe before the game in the warm-up, he says that's the key. When you come into a back-to-back, you want to get your feet going, get everybody involved. Well, they've got off to a good start once again. In back-to-back games, they score the first goal.
But Podkolzin from Roslovic and Bouchard, and with that goal, Save on Foods has given away their first prize. Quick shot from distance, a save made by DeSmith, a juicy rebound available. Kulak was the man who got the initial shot in, and then it took strange hop off the corner boards. That eluded Trent Frederick, and Liam Bichsel comes over to clear it for Dallas. He goes about 6'7", 235 pounds does Liam Bichsel. Outlet pass from Regula onto the stick of Trent Frederick. Regula won a spot with a great camp, as Gene talked about. Been out for a month. Oscar Beck up through center. He'll shoot it in. And this is a depleted Dallas lineup. Centering pass went off a skate. And I just wonder whether we'll see a different kind of game plan.
And getting back to that before, we were interrupted with that Podkolzin goal. A nice goal by him. A grittier team. They're going to grind things out. This is a team that's going to go to work.
This period brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
Chris Knobloch's got to be happy with the start of his team, and something that he was talking about this morning and also right before the game. Just get the feet moving. Back-to-back situation. You don't think about too much. It was a tough loss last night where Edmonton lost in the third period late to the St. Louis Blues after having a 2-0 lead. The fifth time that's happened to them this year that they've seen a 2-goal or more lead evaporate. And said get right back on the horse. That's the good thing about a back-to-back is you don't think about it too much going up against his old friend and old coach, assistant coach Glenn Gulletson, who, you know, this morning was saying that this little adversity they're facing with key players out of the lineup, Jack, you get back to it, the grittiness. He says, we're grinding right now. We've got points in 6 straight. He said, this is a team right now that's going to learn a lot about themselves with key players out of their lineup, and he likes the way they've dug in.
And for a team that's been to 3 consecutive Western Conference Finals, it's sharpened their focus rather than these games feeling like a slog early in the year.
It was good to see Gully this morning, eh?
Yeah, it was. But Colson, Bouchard a shot. Looked like he hadn't missed too many workouts.
Yeah, he's in shape.
Here's Bouchard. Turned it over, and this is going to be a breakaway. Jason Robertson driving in. Bouchard gets back and delivers a poke check that knocked it away, and Robertson never really got a clean look. Bouchard able to atone and get back in time. Draisaitl brings it into the offensive zone, twists one down low, looking for Roslovic. Give it up. Draisaitl back on the puck for Edmonton. Feathered one out to Nurse. Showed shot, dish. Wallman blistered one wide, and that'll clatter off the corner boards and all the way inside the Edmonton blue line. But a good start for the Oilers. They've got the game's opening goal. But Colson with his second of the year. Nurse to Wallman, up the right-hand side for Connor McDavid, who coming into this game had assisted on the last 5 goals that Edmonton had scored. McDavid to Nugent Hopkins. And now back to McDavid. Esa Lindell drilled him, and that's going to be a roughing call. I think Lindell, when McDavid went down low, caught him. They're going to call it cross-checking. And Lindell's not too happy with it. Oilers will be on their first power play. They've been red hot. Evan Bouchard dashing back to deny Jason Robertson.
The Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 presented.
Silver chain and a Rolex. Now, new teams that they're both involved in, and I tell you, Roslovic, Louis and Jack, I mean, he is on a Rolex right now and having the time of his life as an Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah, I happen to know that was a late developing punt from Gene. He did not have that punt ready about 10 minutes ago.
Well, we saw him talking at center ice, but yeah, Jack wasn't going to refuse that. Obviously, he was nice enough to give Rantanen his number for 13 games. And then, hey, it's a heavy price to pay for 13, but has settled in Dallas and signed a big deal and will be here for a long time, Rantanen, but one-time team.
One-timer score. Draisaitl set up by Roslovic. 2-0. Edmonton extends on its red-hot power play. That's now 11 goals in their last 21 tries.
I said one-time teammates. That was a one-timer by Draisaitl from the line. Man, he was really in the corner here. Watch this. I mean, the power play for Edmonton has really started to work down low and find plays around the net. This clearing attempt is kept in. Great job by Bouchard on the line. And then the movement once again. The triangle set up. It goes down to half wall. Tick-tack. One-timer. But this is all set up by a keep-in right here. Harley thinks he's got this puck out of the zone. That's 2 quick passes, and right there, I mean, he is behind the line when he puts this puck in the net. Just excellent passing. McDavid to Roslovic in the back of the net. 2-0 Edmonton.
Only on Edmonton would a player look for Draisaitl in that position. I mean, that is just an incredible shot we just showed you of Roslovic giving it in a seemingly impossible position. Wyatt Johnston stopped off the rush. A blocker save for Edmonton starter Stuart Skinner. Give Roslovic and McDavid the helpers on the power play goal. Leon Draisaitl now leads the league with 6 power play goals, and he's tied for the league lead with 10 overall. Here's Robertson down low. Quick one-timer to save. Johnston threw that back into traffic, and then wrister handled up top by Skinner against Lindell, and we've got a penalty. Darnell Nurse will head to the box. Dallas, relentless pressure, but Stuart Skinner sharp on the Stars' first extended flurry of the game.
Yeah, a couple solid saves in that flurry by them. And a good response by the Dallas Stars after going down 2-0 on the power play goal by Draisaitl. They come right back into the offensive zone. It's the big line. And a lot of shots in tight. This one here by Lindell bounces through. The battle's there, and you can see the stick just get tangled up into the feet. Nurse's stick in. Rantanen takes him down. That's the penalty, tripping the call. So the first power play for the Stars, and their power play has been red hot as well, Jack. These are 2 power plays, first and third respectively in the league, going toe-to-toe.
8 power play goals for the Stars in their last 6 games. They got back into it in Florida. They were trailing 2-0. Took that game into a shootout. Big reason why. 2 power play goals in 14 seconds. Off the draw. Matt Savoy trapped in the corner. Got it to Ekholm, and he'll blast it around the boards, and DeSmith will knock it down. Adam Henrique shadowing Heiskanen. Bouchard rounds out the penalty-killing quartet. Rantanen with a handoff to Robertson. Sent back to Haskin, and he'll walk the line. Robertson dishing, and that's picked off by Ekholm. He's able to scoop, bring it up the center, and wire it toward Casey DeSmith. So Jack Roslovic setting up both Edmonton goals, and it's a 2-0 game for the Oilers. Here's a pickoff by Wallman at the line with Draisaitl and McDavid out there shorthanded. Kulak rounding out the foursome. Here's Wyatt Johnston gaining the line. Tyler Seguin shooting, and that missed. Seguin just played his 1000th game last week in Tampa. And in game 1002, he misfires, and the Dallas power play dwindling down to 50 seconds. Sam Steele to Robertson. Nugent Hopkins on him. Thomas Harley walking the line. Steele loads and fires, and that ended up ricocheting wide. Maverick Bourque in the vicinity. Bouchard worked it loose for Nugent Hopkins, and now Edmonton may have a 2-on-1. Shorthanded. Here's Mangiapane with Bouchard, and that shot deflected. Bouchard appeared to be there. The pass did not get across. Mangiapane elected to shoot, and no shorthanded goal, but another miscommunication. And Robertson, I think Dallas was too many men there. Yep. It had to be too many men. Robertson saved a goal, maybe.
Yep, because Henrique was right on him. I mean, he was gone. But no question, there was too many that had jumped over the boards in the exchange.
Too many men on the ice.
Glenn Gulletson not too happy about this. Just a little bit out of sync here, and you can see the little exchange right at the bench. Wyatt Johnston tries to jump back overboard, and Robertson stays on, is able to break up Henrique, but in the process, too many men.
Oiler power play brought to you by Play Alberta. Oilers didn't need much time to convert, as Roslovic found Draisaitl from the corner. Four on four, I should say, for the next 16 seconds. My apologies. Draisaitl able to win the face-off, quickly snapped on net by McDavid, taken by Labushkin, handed to Lindell, and he's able to deliver a pass up to Oscar Beck. Against Kulak. Beck will now look to occupy the puck. And finally, Edmonton indeed to the man advantage. Darnell Nurse steps out of the box, hands off to Draisaitl, heads for the bench. And now the Oilers officially on that Play Alberta power play. Here's McDavid inside to Nugent Hopkins. Draisaitl. Bouchard. Sent around the boards, Roslovic. Connor McDavid looking, peering inside, tossing back to Leon Draisaitl. Now McDavid coming out of the corner, swung off his stick. Draisaitl able to protect and hang on. Dishes off, one-timer off the side of the net. That time it was Roslovic not afraid to fire it, and the Stars manage a clear. Domashik back in the lineup. He had been on that first power play unit, but Roslovic has blended so well with Edmonton's top players. He's on that spot. Here's McDavid off the rush, and plowing in to Casey DeSmith will be Jack Roslovic, and now he's kind of flung off the goaltender as the Stars felt like Roslovic lingered a bit too long on top of DeSmith.
Yeah, and he's arguing here, if you look where the contact was made, I mean, it's outside. It's to the right of the net. As it seemed to me that Casey DeSmith came across to make that save, had to aggressively, as it was Roslovic on the backhand side. But here he is driving to the net. Goaltender interference, and yeah, he just doesn't stop up enough. But right as he's about to connect with this puck on the backhand side is exactly when Casey DeSmith gets there, and he does catch him with a pretty good shoulder. And yeah, you're not going to win that argument because he's in the blue paint as well. Yeah, well, I thought it was a little bit outside when I first saw it live, but for Casey DeSmith, he held pretty tight, got across, and made a save in close.
Roslovic all over the
That was a good chance. Boy, has he ever connected on the power play, too. You know, we talked about the goals that he'd score in back-to-back games, but it's also the passing that he can make. Gets to his spot, makes the play, has the confidence to take the one-timer you saw. Here it is again from a different angle. And it's just a nice little give and go. And he is getting contested, too. You have to understand that for Roslovic, he's just trying to stay strong on his stick. And he's not thinking about DeSmith. He's thinking about the puck, but he did make contact with the goaltender.
So 4 on 4 for 44 seconds. Edmonton 2, Dallas no score. And a clear by Adam Henrique. But again, this is 4-on-4. This is not a power play. So Henrique can put Colson forechecking against Dallas, and Thomas Harley is able to spin away from Adam Henrique. Harley, a gifted offensive defenseman, off the rush at Steele. A save made by Skinner. The rebound flipped up into the high slot. You've got Harley dishing off. Capobianco with a shot. That's deflected by Nurse, out of play, with Dallas's power play set to go here in about 8 seconds. Leon Draisaitl, there's one guy in the National Hockey League who can score from that corner, and you're looking at him. 2-0 Edmonton.
If Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard had childhood ambitions to become architects, CIBC would work with them every step of the way.
How you doing?
Hi, Connor.
Or if they wanted to be music producers.
Let's see here. I like that.
Or motorbike mechanics.
Look at that.
Whatever their ambition, CIBC would be there with a personalized plan. Just like we'll have a personalized plan for your ambitions too. CIBC, ambitions made real.
You know that Royale Tiger
Go
Towel paper
go
towels.
forward. Go speech off.
Back toe one-timer by Draisaitl. That made it 2-0. It was Podkolzin on a beautiful pass from Roslovic that made it 1-0. Here's Roslovic again with the one-timer in the power play. We talked about how he's adjusted well to step right into that mix with some very skilled players, and seamlessly has blended in with that power play, that top unit.
Draisaitl beaten off the draw by Mikko Rantanen. 4-on-4 set to end in just a few seconds. Draisaitl and McDavid are out there. Off a breakup, Wyatt Johnston controlling the puck, allowing Tyler Seguin to come onto the ice as Rantanen scoots it over to Robertson. He's had some big games against Edmonton. A one-timer by Seguin, stopped by Skinner, who's been razor sharp in this first period already with 10 saves. McDavid fires a pass to Draisaitl. Heiskanen back. Good matchup here. Draisaitl tried to put it in front, looking for McDavid, and it was stolen away by Johnston. He'll cut to his right and gain the line. Johnston last year, a career year, 33 goals and 71 points. Heiskanen. Rantanen was quiet in the postseason, though. Heiskanen, a shot, saves Skinner, and the rebound ricochets into the corners. Seguin might have gotten a piece of that puck. Robertson in front. Seguin, a backhander short side, and another save by Skinner on the #2 overall pick in 2010. Heiskanen from Robertson. Dishes, quick shot, and that stayed out. Skinner's getting peppered, but Edmonton maintains a 2-goal lead. Johnston. Heiskanen, Rantanen, Johnston! Wired one wide. That was in the kill zone, and he missed the net entirely. Heiskanen loading up. Power play has come to an end. Roslovic out of the box, 5-on-5. Centering pass, Rantanen. He tried to make an extra feed to Robertson. Might have been better off shooting that puck. McDavid an outlet. Roslovic got a piece of that puck, no icing.
Yeah, I don't think you can draw it up better than that tic-tac-toe. That's exactly the chance they wanted to have in the slot by Johnston, and he just missed the net. Tyler Seguin right in the wheelhouse of Stuart Skinner. Bumped him with the shoulder the first time, got into it with Wallman, so a heavy presence in front of Skinner by Dallas on that power play.
But just one shot on net. A couple of missed nets, as you talked about. Here's a clear, big hit on Mangiapane by Adam Ernie, whose only goal was a big one in an Oiler uniform at key to comeback win in New Jersey, as Edmonton started to turn its season around 2 years ago. Liam Mitchell up through center. Pestered by Nugent Hopkins, nudged back in by Isaac Howard. Tracked by Petrovic as we approach 6 minutes to play in this first period. 2-0 Edmonton, but Colson and Draisaitl with the goals. Petrovic, center ice, Bork, flipped in by Beck. It's going to be handled by Skinner. He'll wheel it up the left-hand glass, and a bouncing puck corralled and shot back in by Labushkin. Ekholm setting the table. Staggering his way through center is Podkolzin, and he'll dump it in. Labushkin in close quarters up the right-hand side. Noah Philp tried to shovel it down low. That was batted down. Beck didn't get it out initially. Finally on to Harley. And Bourque was stymied at the Edmonton line. Maverick Bourque for Dallas, American Hockey League most valuable player a couple years ago. Still trying to find his footing at the NHL level. Harley up the left-hand side for Robertson. Center ice, Johnston, Rantanen, Robertson peering inside. Gives it up. Rantanen, Heiskanen. Here's a shot. That was deflected up on the plexi. Now Rantanen on it for Dallas. Drag move behind. Maintains, kicks it out. Lindell across. One-timer. Heiskanen. Block shot. Darnell Nurse. In fact, it shattered his stick. He's got no lumber. A centering pass inside to Lindell. No shot initially. Here's Rantanen. Twisting it back for Robertson, who scored 4 goals in the last 3 games of last year's playoff series, but all defeats. Centering pass in tight. Johnston tried to curl it. Robertson kept it alive. Lindell. Johnston. Rantanen. Dallas. Good pace here. A lot of pressure. Lindell. Heiskanen threw it around the boards. Robertson. Edmonton trying to box Dallas out a bit here. Rantanen. Heiskanen centering pass, and that went off a skate. It's been a minute in the attack zone plus for the Dallas Stars. Wyatt Johnston, Rantanen, Robertson cross ice, and good defense that time from Wallman. Puck maintained, but the Stars still don't have a quality look here. Centering pass, Frederick tried to play it beneath the goal line back to Nurse, who wasn't ready for that. Now Frederick will try to fight off Sam Steele. He's been out there for 2.5 minutes. Robertson tried to center. That was broken up, but finally the Oilers manage a clear. They'll get a change they desperately needed.
Boy, were they ever on their heels on that shift. Great shift by the top line of Dallas to hem in Edmonton. A lot of tired players on the ice just waiting to get to the bench.
On the other hand, I thought Edmonton did a decent job of keeping them on the perimeter.
Yep. Physical. Kept it to the perimeter with that physical play. Darnell Nurse, a couple cross checks on guys to make sure they couldn't get to the middle.
Icing on Edmonton.
Carbon X, proud sustainability partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Every detail matters. Every effort counts, on and off the ice.
Sam Steele and Leon Draisaitl. An attack zone draw for the Stars, who've managed a good push, but they're down 2-0. Steele wins the faceoff. Sagan shot blocked by Podkolzin, who opened the scoring. And then Leon Draisaitl scored on the power play. Takes a feed from Roslovic, who's assisted on both. Gives it up. Podkolzin. Poked by Petrovic, pops back up for Draisaitl, spun around to Evan Bouchard, able to shield Steele from the puck and allow Roslovic to go down low. Draisaitl getting worked over, but Colson won a battle against Bishop. Freed it up for Draisaitl, clubbed cross ice by Bouchard. Ekholm didn't pull the trigger, instead goes down low for Draisaitl. Little reverse pop, but Bishop mashed right through it and then got belted from behind by Podkolzin.
I don't mind that from Podkolzin. Bischel's been physical in this game. Big body. Throwing it around. Hit Draisaitl a couple times. Hit Podkolzin. Little pushback there in the physical department.
Bouchard to Ekholm.
And that's something that Glenn Gulutzan talked about this morning. He wants his team to be a little more physical, block more shots, be a harder team to play against. And they've done it so far this year. They've been more physical, looking to make hits, and Bischel's leading the way there. You can just see just a big body. He's always looking to make contact.
And they've had to be. As you talked about, Louis, they've got 3 of their top guys out of the lineup. They can't win through sheer skill. Nugent Hopkins with a turnover at the line. Ritzkovian ahead. Adam Ernie. He'll spin and twist one down low to Ritzkovian, who scored his first NHL goal against Florida. You see the name on the back. Trust me, it's Ritzkovian. McDavid, left-hand side, Nugent Hopkins. Of course, I've been practicing for 6 hours. Ritzkovian tried to give it up, taken away. Regula up the right-hand side. Mangiapane will get it in deep. Minute 20 to play in the first period. 2-0 Edmonton. An outlet, Ritzkovian. Lunging for it, can't reel it in. Instead, it's Wallman. Nurse and Wallman trading the puck. It'll be Darnell Nurse advancing to the red, floating one high off the plexi, taken by Lindell. Off to Heiskanen. And now Tyler Seguin whips it ahead. Stars have won 4 of the 6 regular season meetings the last 2 years. But Edmonton has won 8 of 11 when it is counted in the Western Conference Final. Steal by Adam Henrique as we go inside a minute to play in the first period. Edmonton up 2. Savoy and Frederick hard on the forecheck. Savoy look to center. Frederick able to contain. Finally raked free, but held in by Bouchard against Beck. Ekholm sends one back into the corner. Draisaitl working over Beck, who fights him off admirably and nudges it to center. 15 seconds left in the period. Ekholm to Roslovic, lost it in his skates for a moment. And now Bouchard will take a skate, more than content to head to the dressing room with a 2-0 lead. But Colson and Draisaitl the goals, and little Jong meanwhile up ice. And it's Colson and Ranton
getting a little chippy.
And your Dallas Stars 0. The Patron Tequila shots on goal the first period. Edmonton with 7.
ATCO Energy is the official energy provider of Rogers Place and proud sponsor of the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, the Dallas Stars with a determined push after Edmonton got 2 in the first 7 minutes. Roslovic set them up both, but Colson and Draisaitl the goals. And Stuart Skinner perfect on 11 shots. Hockey Central next with DA and Luke.
This period.
Xfinity is
issue coming out of the gate for the
John,
Oilers. They changed out a
go
number
backward
of
15
players.
seconds.
A lot of the older
Pause.
players
Go for
gone, some new, fresh young guys in there. Are you starting to feel that the chemistry is
Dallas,
coming there for
Tuesday,
some of the new
November 4th at
Oilers?
6.
no one wants to be treated.
Ideal start for Edmonton on the road at Big D, home of the Dallas Stars, the American Airlines Center in beautiful Dallas, Texas. Temperatures in the mid-20s today, nary a cloud in the sky. But Colson and Draisaitl with first period goals for Edmonton. The only cautionary note, as Louis talked about in the first, the Oilers also had a 2-goal lead last night, couldn't hold it in a 3-2 loss. And a quick chance, quick shot off the post from Ranton and right off the hop. And again, Dallas, first 10 seconds of the period, both periods, they've had good looks. Jason Robertson tucks one to Harley, back to Robertson, who whistles one off the pads of Stuart Skinner. Oilers' attack has dried up since scoring that second goal. They've had just one shot in the intervening 13 minutes. Wyatt Johnston able to pitch it in, but still, Stuart Skinner, solid goaltending, and a 2-goal lead as it trickles out in front. Skinner sent one into the corner. Nurse able to nudge it up the left-hand side for Podkolzin. Draisaitl working his way through the neutral zone, backing off. He scored a power play goal, punched in by Roslovic. In that loss to St. Louis, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid combined for exactly 0 shots in net. It's the first time in 727 regular season playoff games none of them had a shot. Here's McDavid and Mangiapane. Make sure to eradicate that tonight as Draisaitl getting on the board. Nugent Hopkins trying to keep position. Sam Steele with a turnover, backhander shoveled wide by Nugent Hopkins. Rebound kicked out to Ekholm. Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins.
No stick for Heiskanen.
Yeah, so it's almost a 5-on-4.5. And Heiskanen, a guy you'd love to have a stick. Far and away Dallas's best defender. McDavid to Ekholm. Now McDavid. Nugent Hopkins couldn't get himself in a comfortable shooting position. McDavid beat Lindell to the front of the net. And going down to get a piece of that puck without a stick was Heiskanen.
I mean, that was all he could do because McDavid attacked him without the stick in a perfect defensive play to take that pass backdoor away.
Bouchard. Blackwell shifted up the left-hand side. And it's Beck. Overrun by Noah Philp. Good backtrack by Philp and worked up the right-hand side for Isaac Howard. The rookie bounces one in deep. Petrovic to Bichel. And it's pounded up the left-hand side. This will be icing against the Stars. 2.5 into the second period. And the Oilers still maintaining a 2-0 lead.
Here's that chance right out of the gates by Mikko Rantanen. This line's been really good for Dallas and have created a lot. This puck gets knocked down, but it goes right to Rantanen, and he rings the bar. Good protection with the body, backhand to forehand up over the blocker as he rings the bar. And then here's McDavid again. He knows right now that Heiskanen has no stick. He gets around Lindell, and he tries to thread this back door to Mangiapane. And a great defensive play by Heiskanen. Without a stick, gets down with the pad, takes it away.
Rantanen scored the tying goal in Florida, getting Dallas into a shootout where they lost, but the Stars with points in 6 straight. It was his 299th career NHL goal. Kulak will send one back down low, so obviously that was for 300. Beck in trouble, crowded in the corner. The only Finnish players with more: Teemu Selanne, Jari Kurri, and Olli Jokinen. Beck with a big windup on Frederick. A couple of the Oilers thought that might have been a slash, and then Bichel with a cross check or a board, and now Frederick rips Bichel down. Blackwell jumps in. This is a penalty on Bichel all day. Did Frederick even it up?
I don't think so. I don't think they're giving him 2 for grabbing Bichel. And because he didn't go overboard, I mean, he did pull him off of Savoy, so I think they allowed that to happen. We'll see if that's the call, but initially I did not see them even this up, and I think that's the right call.
Dallas, number 6, 2 minutes for boarding.
I mean, he just leans into the much smaller guy in Savoy, and Bichel's been physical. I mean, I like this about his game. He's a big young guy. He's sturdy on his feet. He can skate, and Frederick gets right in there and just yanks him back pretty effectively afterwards. Does not take a penalty, so that's key as the power play goes to Edmonton.
Oilers 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Their second one was an abbreviated one. Roslovic set up Draisaitl for the power play goal in the first. Chance for Edmonton to really take command of this one. Barely 3 minutes into the second period, Draisaitl will be chased out. He'll line up alongside Roslovic in the slot. McDavid wins the draw back to Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins. McDavid snapped it in front, looking for that stick of Roslovic. They, of course, executed that last night in St. Louis. Here's McDavid. Dishing off. One-timer ripped by Bouchard and a save made by Casey DeSmith. 89 on that shot. Here's Draisaitl shoveling it across to McDavid, heading for the net. McDavid tried to get it to him, was broken up by Lindell. Nugent Hopkins to Draisaitl. Heiskanen draped all over him. McDavid. Bouchard. McDavid cuts inside. Sagan, a shot was deflected wide. The ricochet handled by Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins loading, dishing. McDavid cuts in, and a backhander trickles wide. DeSmith flashed out that left pad and got a healthy chunk of it.
Well, I think it's safe to say this power play for Edmonton is just buzzing right now. They have had extended periods of time in the offensive zone when they don't score, and they're challenging. They're taking pucks to the net, and the movement of the puck has been incredible.
Roslovic chipped it to Draisaitl, and something you noticed in Madison Square Garden, Roslovic's a perfect fit. Draisaitl has it stolen, and it's swept out by Lindell.
Well, he can make the plays. He can get to the position. He speaks the language. You know, there's not many players that can snap it around like that. He's jumped right in with highly skilled players, and he's just made it look easy with his ability to get in there and make the plays. It's not that easy to pick up the combinations as quickly as he has. I mean, case in point, how many people have passed that puck to Draisaitl more than McDavid? I mean, who else has made that pass to the corner for a one-timer like that? Nugent Hopkins a couple of times, but I mean, that takes skill to know he's going to fire it from there.
And to know, even from that angle, that's your best option.
Yeah, like it's been McDavid. McDavid's the guy that finds him there 95% of the time, and in the short order, Roslovic found him.
Howard wired one up on the glass, and that bounces back to center. That'll be collected by Wallman. The other thing you pick up from seeing Roslovic on a game-by-game basis is he plays with more pace and speed than you realize when you only see him 2 or 3 times a year, like you and I have traditionally seen him. And obviously, when you're playing with those guys, speed and pace is a prerequisite. Here's Wyatt Johnston. Firing it in the corner. Rantanen around the boards. That's going to be picked off by Noah Philp, and the Oilers are out. So Edmonton doesn't cash in on the power play, but Philp with a steal and a centering pass that's intercepted and cleared by Robertson. Johnston with McColson on him. Puck wrestled free for Philp. Long toss for Mangiapane. Petrovic, a nice job of angling him off. And Dallas will come up ice. Capo Bianco. Robertson with a puck sitting on the blue line. Turned over by Dallas and shoveled the other way by Wallman. He was looking for the home run to Howard. Wasn't there. Picked off and curled back into the Edmonton zone. Nurse off the boards to Howard. Took a shot from Petrovic to get it in deep. Beck whistled one off the boards back to center, where it's blasted back in by Wallman. The lead, Petrovic to Beck. Skinner calling signals off the glass. Off of Adam Ernie and sent up ice to Howard by Nurse, but Howard was not at center, so that's an icing call. Bit of an unforced error there.
Now puck a little bit up on edge and not handled by Howard on the wall. But McDavid in the power play, we talked about the attacking and the movement. Everybody's moving in sync, but the key here is when you have the ability to take it to the net, and McDavid tries to drive this one onto the backhand side and wrap it around the pad of DeSmith, just goes wide. So good recognition. There was a lane open and he took it.
DeSmith again starting. Jake Ottinger celebrating the birth of a child last couple days, getting the night off at least in a starting role. Here's Harley with a wrist shot deflected dangerously wide. A rebound waved at into the corner by Nurse. Bourque down low for Sam Steele. Trying to jam it inside. Here's a chance for Bourque. A save. Skinner. The rebound available. Bourque couldn't do anything with it. Nurse double teamed in the corner. Dallas continues to buzz, but Edmonton has fought the Stars off to this point. Despite, again, just one shot in the last 16-17 minutes of game action. Steele with a turnover. Howard gets it from Frederick. Bishop gets back and bothered that shot just enough to send it wide. Lost and then recovered his stick in one motion after Tomashik couldn't do much. Ekholm does well to pinch and maintain the zone. Harley. McDavid all over him. Thomas Harley. McDavid got inside, took the puck away. Ekholm. Looking cross ice, locates Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard held the zone. Sent it off the glass. Mangiapane. Nugent Hopkins. Ekholm across. Bouchard. One-timer McDavid, and that was blocked in front. Steady as she goes. Harley up to center, and Bourque will send it in deep.
Dogged work by McDavid on the forecheck, Jack, and that's how you maintain a two-goal lead. We've seen two-goal leads evaporate for Edmonton this year. Need to go to work, need to elevate. Can't take your foot off the gas. Couple real solid shifts in the offensive zone.
He likes this building. First NHL goal, first NHL hat trick, an overtime winner. Ooh. In the playoffs, all in this building. Mangiapane inadvertently put one into the Dallas bench. Isaac Howard takes the stretch from Trent Frederick. Can't quite get it on net, but it's still 2-0 Edmonton.
Closed captioning brought to you in part by Boston Pizza. A fast lunch doesn't have to mean fast food. Get a $15 lunch served in 20 minutes only at Boston Pizza.
TD Easy Line, how can I help you?
Wow, TD really is available anytime, huh?
Yep, even
First NHL goal, first
go
NHL
forward 15, go forward 15, go forward 15, go.
Tight doesn't.
the team.
Played in the other team's end. Don't sit back on a lead and hope you can just kill a game. Go out there and take it to the opponent, finish it off.
Especially against a team that's undermanned right now, missing 3 top players, and the Dallas Stars, believe it or not, have the fewest goals 5-on-5 in the entire NHL. Draisaitl wrestled down Rantanen, and that's going to be a penalty. Draisaitl's a little disgusted with Rantanen. He says, I'm a big guy, but so are you. You pulled me down.
Thought maybe down a little easy, I think, is what Leon said right
absolutely.
now to Mikko Rantanen. Hey, you're a really big guy, but they still have a conversation. Rantanen's been pretty vocal in this game. He's had conversations with Podkolzin a couple of times, and right here, just that little bump. It's the cross-check down into Rantanen, and it wasn't much. You know, he has to kind of lean in as he's trying to reach around him and find the stick on the puck, but then he just gives him a sharp cross-check, and he falls down, and that's the call.
Draisaitl with just that sharp look of disgust. Dallas on the power play. Down low, it's Robertson. Stars' third power play of the night, taken away by Adam Henrique. A high floater sent wide of Casey to Smith. Henrique will change along with Savoy. Replaced by Mangiapane and Nugent Hopkins. Gaining the line is Mikko Rantanen. Here's Wyatt Johnson, centering pass. Wrist shot, Robertson save, rebound, available, and finally poked home. That might be 300 for Mikko Rantanen. 2-1.
Great save on the initial shot right down Main Street by Stuart Skinner, but the Stars just continue to battle away here on the entry. It's a good job by Rantanen. Takes this pass from Johnston, and then again, it's Johnston that finds the slot. This one here, I mean, the glove knocks it down. First one, second one off the post, and then Rantanen on the spot is able to put it home. Once he funnels this through, you're going to see him look up. He's going to stop, get lost in behind. He's an available target, but then he finds this loose puck as he's falling down. He backhands this one over the line. 2-1. Good movement by the Stars in the power play. It's been hot as well, and it makes it a one-goal game.
Smart play by Rantanen too, Louis, to get to ice level and basically sweep it in to make sure he got low enough, because there was traffic. That's goal number 300 for Mikko Rantanen from Robertson and I believe Sagan, who now makes a steal and a dish back to the point for Petrovic. A wrist shot blocked. Edmonton's got to jumpstart the offense right now. One shot in nearly 20 minutes of game action after getting that 2-0 lead. A wrist shot by Bichel and a kick save made by Stuart Skinner. On to Noah Phil. Bichel. Tomashek. And a drive by Nurse sailed wide, and the rebound corralled off the end boards by Casey to Smith. They're going to say Johnston touched that puck in the slot. So Johnston and Robertson were the helpers on a Rantanen power play goal that cuts it to 2-1. Dallas back in the game, but the Oilers still ahead on Sportsnet.
Good movement by the Stars
Go
in the
forward,
power play.
go forward, speed off.
Finds his way to the net. You look at Finnish-born players, most goals all time, and he is climbing that list. Only 21 now behind Olli Jokinen. Big man, but he's got great hands. And this morning we talked to Glenn Gallitson. He said there's a lot of similarities between him and this guy right here, Leon Draisaitl. Two guys that are big, that have the great hands, that make passes, but can also fire the puck and are prolific goal scorers, and you saw it there. You get to the spot, goal scorer's nowhere to go, and he knew how to get to that spot on time and score his 300th.
You played against all three of the other guys on that list.
Yeah. Not many times playing head-to-head.
McDavid lining up, face-off win for Beck. Haskin to Colin Blackwell. Sam Steele run off the puck. Nugent Hopkins able to corral and dish it back to Wallman. And the Oilers trying to get going 5-on-5 a little bit. 21 minutes have elapsed, and Edmonton has a grand total of 1 shot on net, and it was on the power play. Here's McDavid building steam up to Nugent Hopkins. Still, it's a 2-1 lead for Edmonton. You take that all day on the road against a team that's been to 3 straight conference finals. Oilers have vanquished the Stars in the last 2. Nurse got to the puck, absorbed a check from Blackwell, located McDavid, breakout pass. Nugent Hopkins reaches out, pulls it in, and dumps it behind the Dallas net. Harley up the gut, spilled on net. Govian watched Skinner put it on the deck. And it was fired back in immediately by Harley. Bouchard trapped in the corner. Couple of stars. Bastion and Ernie. But pulled out of the fray by Jack Roslovic. Nifty move to his right. And he'll send it in deep. Draisaitl back to Ekholm. I look at Roslovic, Louis, and one word comes to mind. He's slick in almost everything he does. Skating, stick handling. Draisaitl, one-timer, that was ripped. And a save made, but Colson is looking to just fire it tonight.
Like the one-timers, he's been looking for that lately, getting himself to that spot and thinking shot before the puck gets to him. That was a great save by DeSmith with the right pad.
Colson one time to puck home to open the game, scoring. This man, Leon Draisaitl, the other goal. To Roslovic, a wrist shot to save. And that puck briefly sitting 5-hole. Roslovic unable to stuff it home. It remains 2-1.
The future Hall of Famer is late for dinner. Never done building. Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
Good movement around the zone. A couple shots on DeSmith. This one here, he's way out at the blue paint to cut down the angle on that right pad save. Bud Colson, then Roslovic, as you mentioned, just moving around. The puck seems to find him in spots on this line, and he tries the quick shot, but DeSmith's able to get down, make the save on the 5-hole.
Off the draw, puck sails into the 8th row.
Bud Colson got high stuck there as he was driving through the net looking for more. Stick came up underneath the visor.
Those two shots, Louis, the first for Edmonton 5-on-5 in 22.5 minutes. Now Rantanen up to Wyatt Johnston. Well played by Kulak. Tug free, Capobianco. Tried to angle one off the boards, picked off by Brett Kulak. Alec Regula to Frederick. Shovels it ahead. Good work by Savoy. It's a purposeful stride tonight. Frederick, Regula, cross, shot by Kulak, and that pinballed out of play with 7:17 to go in period 2, and the Oilers still on top 2-1.
Good forecheck on this line. Starting to turn pucks over again, and more of that, as you mentioned, not a lot of shots 5-on-5, and how you're going to start to generate is creating some turnovers in the zone. Get on the horse, and Frederick with a good stick. Enrique was there. Savoy used his speed to punch through too. Chipping and charging and just trying to find ways to bring the puck to the net.
Rematch between these two clubs will be in Edmonton in 3 weeks. This is their 18th meeting in 2 years. David will be moved down, replaced by Nugent Hopkins. Heiskanen to Lindell off the draw. Sam Steele works it free to Sagan. Over the line, Heiskanen puts the brakes on the shot that's smothered by Skinner.
Good drive with speed by Sagan, and Heiskanen, the defenseman. He's a left-handed defenseman, plays the right side, so he's always in that position to shoot it on a one-timer. This time he stops up, quick check up, and boom, tries to thread this through, knowing that Sagan's following through, going to the net. A bad idea, but good save by Skinner to make sure there was nothing left over.
Sagan face-off win against McDavid. A shot fought off by Skinner, flipped in front for the rebound, and Bourque can't find it. Mangiapane did. Steele stole it back, and then Mangiapane came up with it. Again, it was McDavid with some defensive work in the slot to free it up. Bouchard up the gut. That was deflected. DeSmith will steer it over to Heiskanen, on to Lindell. Hard off glass. Icing will be waved off here. Bourque in it against Ekholm. Bouchard cross ice. Nugent Hopkins went off a skate. Ekholm with their support. Now Bichel. McDavid a bobble. Otherwise, he might have had a half step on Bichel. Tomashek wound it around. Played back down low by Kulak. Here's Tomashek against Lyubushkin. David Tomashek, Czech born, went to high school in Michigan. Said he's got a new understanding for guys who play limited minutes. It's been a transition for him. Here's Oscar Beck. Sends it around the boards. Tomashik. And Regula. Phil Howard had to go off his skate. Johnston. Colin Blackwell. Trapped by Philp in the corner. Kulak with a reach. Stars crowd wanted a trip. None forthcoming. Howard able to stagger his way up the center and send it in deep. Thomas Harley. Stretch play. Did not connect with Robertson, and that's an icing call against Dallas.
No matter McDavid's ambition, CIBC would have a personalized plan, just like we'll have a plan for you too. CIBC, proud partner of Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers.
Leon Draisaitl signaling what he'd like to see coming off this faceoff. And he won it cleanly. Woolman a one-timer, and just getting out up top was his fellow number 6, Rantanen. Robertson dashes over, frees it up for Johnson, but Rantanen's got to tag back up. Tossed in by Robertson. Nurse to Woolman. Held in by Petrovic and sent across. Rantanen takes a peek. Robertson. Harley to Petrovic. His shot stuffed by Podkolzin. And now here's Roslovic, a 3-on-2 for Edmonton. Podkolzin loads and fires and just missed. High glove. Came off the plexi to Wyatt Johnston. Open ice for Thomas Harley. His shot dribbles on net and held by Skinner with 4.5 to go in the second period. And the Oilers still holding a 2-1 lead on the road in Dallas in a rematch of the Western Conference Final.
Go backward 15 seconds.
The most NHL Edge advanced stats. Hockey is better on the NHL app.
Part of the game is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how. And Stuart Skinner knows how he needs to get ready for a game. So this morning he doesn't normally skate the night after a back-to-back scenario, but felt like he had a good night's sleep and wanted to get to the rink, and he certainly hasn't been asleep at the wheel, as so far in this hockey game he's made 18 stops and hopes to put the Stars to bed by the time the night's over.
Got some work in. We got a penalty coming, and this is going to be against Edmonton. I think it's Regula. And the Stars will go back to the power play. Cross-checking will be the call. And Dallas, who scored on the power play earlier in this period, now can tie it up.
Right off the face-off is when this happens, and as the Stars win the draw and kind of punch through, you're going to see Regula right here with a little box out. I mean, are you kidding me?
Was it the second one, maybe? I don't know.
Doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, not a ton there.
I don't know if that's game number 25 for Regula.
So he's in the box, and Dallas's power play with a chance to tie it up. And again, as Louis talked about, a power play 32% right now, with 9 goals in their last 7, including tonight. But a draw won by Edmonton and a clear by Woolman. It starts with Nurse, Henrique, and Savoy. Heiskanen with a drop-off for Wyatt Johnston. He's got 7 goals on the year. Set up the Rantanen goal. It's made it a 2-1 hockey game. Heiskanen settles. Now Robertson in front. Johnston can't pull the trigger. Sagan, and that's actually fired down the ice by Savoy. Heiskanen handed to Johnston. Rantanen pulls up, dishes off to Robertson. Nugent Hopkins closing. Robertson kicks it back for Heiskanen. Sagan back to Heiskanen, a shot that was tipped wide. Johnston in the slot. Rebound down the ice from Evan Bouchard. Approaching 3 minutes left in the second period. Edmonton's lead is 2-1. Power play at 40 seconds. He's churning the legs. Robertson, who had a hat trick against Edmonton in a regular season win last March. Sagan sauced it back to the point for Harley. Rantanen, no shot laid against McDavid. Here's a shot coming, and Skinner finds it against Harley.
Good save. Good clear by Bouchard earlier. Have to make sure that goes down 200 feet. Good clear before that by Savoy. You're seeing Edmonton really collapse back and protect the front of the house. Obviously a sore spot from last night's game-winning goal. But get back, battle for that puck, and right here, a good job by Skinner. Once that puck comes through the traffic, you got Bork right in front of him looking for that redirection. Not an easy save.
Draisaitl pulled it free. Fiercely digging Maverick Bork around the boards to Esa Lindell. To Harley. Sam Steele. Centering pass broken up. Ritzkovian tried to go backdoor for Lindell. Steele will do the same, and Lindell couldn't contain Maverick Bork, pursued by McDavid. And that's all for the Dallas power play. Just one shot. Score remains 2-1 Edmonton. We creep up on 2 minutes to play in the second. Harley with it now 5-on-5. Shot off the glass behind. Stars working to protect Steele back to Bork. McDavid and Draisaitl both still on the ice. Spinning and centering his Bork off the pads, and here comes McDavid with a lob ahead for Draisaitl, hoping he could skate into it. But Lindell got back in time. McDavid then threw it in front a second time. This time Harley with a pickoff, and up to Adam Ernie. Getting back was Roslovic, a lead pass Bouchard, and that's whistled down for an icing against the Oilers.
Play Safeway My NHL Picks weekly for your chance to score all season long. You could even win an NHL getaway for you and your family. Download the Safeway app to start playing today.
Leon Draisaitl now tied for the league lead in goals. Connor McDavid tied for the league lead in points as we speak. And Edmonton, more importantly, trying to get this second half of a back-to-back. They've lost both back ends thus far this season. And they dropped a 3-2 decision last night in St. Louis. A game they led 2-0. They led 2-0 in this one. And they still maintain a 1-goal lead as Roslovic and Podkolzin carve it free. Podkolzin back on the puck. He'll send it behind. Big hit by Roslovic, and the corner came loose. Podkolzin open man. Bouchard denied by Casey DeSmith. And that time it's Roslovic's physical play that leads to a chance.
Yeah, he's been buzzing once again. He's been moving his feet and gets on the forward check. Heavy hit on Bichel, who's been physical for the Stars. Just rides him out here, and as that puck bobbles loose, it's a nice pass by Podkolzin. Bouchard tries to go glove. Good read by DeSmith. That look kind of says it all. He's like, yeah. Figured me out on that one.
Well, again, he played very well as a Vancouver Canuck in 2 matchups against Edmonton. Off the draw, McDavid and Draisaitl on for the final minute. 5-on-5 here, as the Oilers look for a little more offense, trying for separation. Bobbled at the blue line, chipping and charging is Sam Steele. He's found a home here in Dallas. Turned it over. Draisaitl to McDavid. And the Oilers come off the ice. Draisaitl back to McDavid. Checked by Heiskanen. McDavid got away. Behind the net, Frederick snapped it past Draisaitl. Out to Nurse. Wallman feathers one back into the corner for Frederick. Broken up. Sam Steele with a chance to clear. And does shovel ahead for Oscar Beck. He'll gain the line. 15 seconds to go in the period. Tried to drop it for Heiskanen, and Draisaitl read the play and got it ahead for McDavid. So now it's Edmonton who will get a last chance. McDavid wired it off the pads of Casey DeSmith. 5 seconds. Heiskanen, does he have enough time from the blue line? Was through a 2-bouncer on Skinner that's guided to the corner, and Edmonton will take a 2-1 lead into the dressing room.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Fought off a couple pushes of the Stars in that second period. The power play goal by Ranfin, his 300th, makes it a 1-goal game, but Stuart Skinner with some nice saves and a little more effort.
Go forward
in the
15.
latter
Speech
part
off.
of that second, maintained the 1-goal lead into the third.
Only Florida's played more playoff games than the Hoot clubs on the ice tonight at the American Airlines Center. Edmonton's played 75, Dallas 63. And the two Titans head-to-head with the Oilers up 1. Straight ahead, Hockey Central with David and Luke.
For every Oilers goal, but they aren't done there. New this season, they are awarding groceries for a year. Every time an Oilers scores a hat trick, 4 goals by a single player, wins that lucky customer groceries for life. And 5 goals means we have $1 million winner. You are entered into the contest each and every time you use your More Rewards card at checkout. Get in the game, shop, save on foods today. And happy to be joined side by side by my friend Bob Stauffer as we get set.
Friends,
yeah, we are after last night. Of course we are. The Oilers, kind of a similar game. Do you think tonight that we saw last night versus St. Louis, but the Oilers maybe be even better defensively?
I think Edmonton's played better. I also think they're playing a better team. You know, like you sit there and you look at what Dallas can do, and you know, Dallas got a real high-end power play. We've seen that. They're third in the league in the power play. No surprise given who the head coach of the Stars is, but also, you know, their ability in the back end to make plays between Miro Heiskanen and Thomas Harley. So it's a good matchup. It could be a precursor of things to come, Gene. I think we know that. But I like Edmonton's game overall, and the line of put Colson and Draisaitl and Roslovic has really bounced back as well tonight. They had some tough moments last night.
You mentioned the new coach of the Dallas Stars, second time around for Glenn Gulutzan, and this morning there weren't a lot of Oilers at the rink because of the fact they played against St. Louis last night. But there's Calvin Pickard giving him a nice hug, and Zach Hyman, of course, one of the all-star friendly guys around the league, and he did say to Glenn, he goes, still looks a little strange seeing you in that t-shirt. What did Glenn provide the Oilers during his 7th season?
Well, I mean, you think of it, he worked with a bunch of different coaches, right? Like came in with Todd McClellan, and then was with Hitch, and then ended up with Dave Tippett, and still stayed through Jay Woodcroft. And I think specifically for Chris Knobloch, it was the mentoring that Glenn provided. And I know he joked when he took the job here about the Western Canadian tour between you know, Calgary, Vancouver, and Edmonton, and the only place he didn't work in was Winnipeg. He's doing recon. But you know, what does it say about a guy that an organization that let him go as a head coach brings him back as a head coach? I think Gina tells you he's a hell of a guy. So, you know, the Oilers had a unique coaching staff last year. Paul Coffey, maybe not the most experienced coach, but definitely an experienced player and one of the greatest players of all time. And so I'm not that there's been growing pains, just that there's going to be an evolution with the coaching staff as this year goes on. It's a very different coaching staff, and I think there's a lot of respect for what Glenn provided the Oilers players over the last several years.
Certainly over the course of tonight, first meeting of the season between the two teams since last year's conference final, and then there was the one before that. I mean, you look at these two teams, and it is early in the season, but do you feel like the one that we're close to right now and the one on the other side of that black drape could meet again?
I do, but I also think there's some other really good teams. Like, you know, just in the Pacific Division, obviously Vegas is a great team. There's Janmark scoring the 2-0 goal, and then here's Skinner getting the 3-0 goal with DeSmith in net there. But, you know, you look at the Central specifically. Winnipeg's a good team, though I think they overplay Connor Hellebuck during the regular season. Colorado, that's a well-run organization. Dallas has, you know, the guy generally considered by his peers to be the best general manager in the league, and I think Edmonton's pretty well managed as well. And the thing I know about Dallas and Edmonton is their managers are relentless in terms of trying to improve the teams. And don't count out LA. LA's been in the mix. I know Edmonton's vanquished them the last 4 years, but they're a good club as well. So there's lots of good teams. You're going to have to beat good teams first things first, make the playoffs. But we could see Edmonton-Dallas Part 3, absolutely.
Okay, both of us had a chance to talk to Alex Petrovic this morning, good Northside boy, and he said, say hi to my mom, Kimberly, to my grandma, Valerie, who's turning 84 today, and his dad, Pesha, who's been going through some health issues. He said, say hi to him as well. So, Pesha, your son's playing against Edmonton, but thinking about what's going on in Edmonton. So, nice to chat with the former Oiler, who is up against his former team tonight. Where's Alex? He's there in the corner, getting set for period number 3 against the Oilers.
Hockey Fights Cancer, powered by the V Foundation, funds game-changing cancer research. Join the fight. Donate today at vcanada.org.
Get a 9 to 5, they said.
There's an argument to be made that Jack Roslovic might be the best skater for either side through 40.
He's been buzzing, you know, and that's why we're talking about him a lot right now, and he's feeling it. He's talked about opportunity to come into Edmonton here. He's seeing this as, for him, a chance to really shine and play with some great players, and that's exactly what he's done. He's gone into this lineup, and he's kind of excelled wherever he goes. He's on the power play now. This is the first goal, just a great individual effort to drive wide. One-handedly gets it over to Podkolzin. For me, it's the edge, and you said it, skating. He's moving his feet. He's getting himself to spots. He's opening up. This is the passing play I was talking about. Perfect pass to Draisaitl in the corner for the one-timer. And that made it 2-0, but here he is again. He gets lost in the shuffle. He's using his head right now. A cerebral, smart player. He feels it. He speaks the language of the guys on the ice. His old teammate from Carolina, Mikko Rantanen, for 13 games last year en route to the conference final for Roslovic, but he's had a strong game, and his team is going to have to really buckle down here, up by 1 into the third to close this one out.
2-1 in favor of Edmonton. Now the Oilers, when leading after 2 this year, have seen a couple get away. Roslovic immediately tries to jam one toward the net, only to have it deflected into the corner. Robertson ahead for Wyatt Johnston. A wrist shot missed, high glove. Rantanen put it down low. Johnston to Robertson, and that puck sailed through the high slot. Talked with Zach Hyman before the game, speaking of another star unavailable for tonight. A guy who scored 70 goals a couple years ago. But he's hoping to be back in the next week or 2. Evan Bouchard under control for Edmonton. Up to Mangiapane. Oilers look for a split of this back-to-back on the road, having lost 3-2 last night to St. Louis. To Smith, nearly turned it over to Mangiapane. Sagan plowed through but failed to clear. Connor McDavid on the puck for Edmonton. Maneuvers, stitches, a drive by Ekholm, and a save made by Casey to Smith. Oilers won't play again until Saturday, a home date with Colorado. Bork off to Sagan, his drive, and that was stopped in front. Bouchard knocked it down and sent Mangiapane back to center. A drop pass, open Savoy, blistered one right in the midsection of goaltender Casey to Smith, who pushed out above the blue paint to try to cut off the angle.
Good chance here for Savoy as he comes off the bench. Patience by Mangiapane on this shift. He just kind of drags the puck a little bit here, waits for the reinforcements. He knows his line mates are going for a change, and Savoy, with speed, pops into that middle, picks his spot to Smith. As you mentioned, look how far he finished to make that save. But for Savoy, using that speed to punch to a hole, creates that chance.
Ritzkovian able to win the face-off for Dallas up the right-hand side. Blackwell. Regula takes over for Edmonton. Quick up. To Isaac Howard. In deep. Petrovic. Liam Bichel. Spooned up the left-hand side. Ritzkovian. Overrunning it was Petrovic. Puck sitting there at center. Few drive-bys. And finally lobbed in by Blackwell, handled on one bounce and frozen by Skinner.
It's actually not a bad play by Blackwell, and I've seen him do that before. Just a little chip and charge as he floats this one in, looking for a little bit of an uneven bounce, and it actually does bounce to the right a little bit. Stuart Skinner handles it well, but just looking for anything left over. He's got to pounce on that, and for Blackwell gets a face-off in the offensive zone.
Ritzkovian went to the front of the net. You gotta love it. He gets cut, zippered for 3 stitches, comes back, scores his first goal in the NHL. Man after your heart, clearly, yeah. Louis.
There you go. It's a hockey player.
Sagan off the face-off, sees Savoy catch up to it, and that was punched off the glass by Frederick. Tracked by Capobianco. Again, the Stars going 11 forward, 7 defense. As Radek Faksa not feeling up to it. A late scratch today. Did not take the ice for the morning skate, so that's what necessitates Dallas going 11-7. A steal by Wallman on Tyler Sagan. He then gave it away, and Dallas is whistled for an offside.
Play Alberta's biggest offer ever is here. Sign up today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Vasily Podkolzin got things started in this game. 1-0, 3:40 into the first period. Nice pass from Roslovic. But you look at the depth scoring here now for Edmonton, and you know they're going to need more and more of this. And in the last few games, 4 games in particular, you've got some production down the lineup and different guys starting to contribute.
Edmonton actually has the most players in the NHL with a goal on their team. They've got 18 different guys with a goal. 17 of the 18 dressed tonight, plus Kasperi Kapanen. He's another guy that's expecting back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Wallman, a shot from distance, blocker to Rantanen by Casey DeSmith. Wyatt Johnston. Dallas's only goal tonight on the power play. We talked about their struggles 5-on-5. Injuries, of course, playing a huge factor. Maverick Bourque in front, a quick one-touch on net. Robertson unable to jam it home, and Draisaitl was able to sneak through center, but Edmonton that time left the slot a bit open. Robertson will brush it back to Heiskanen as the Stars look for a reload. Bourque shoved by Mangiapane, stays with it. Now getting plastered by Ekholm, who carved that puck free and chiseled on the McDavid stick. Nugent Hopkins back to McDavid. Tried to kick it back to Bouchard. Steele picked it off, and Dallas may have a chance here. Harley centering pass to no one in particular. That was a poor choice by Blackwell, and now it's McDavid 2-on-1. McDavid shoots off the post, and the rebound popped right through Mangiapane. McDavid draws iron with a chance to give the Oilers a little separation. Dreadful choice by Blackwell. Bailed out by the goalpost.
And Labushkin, I thought, could have stepped up and just taken the puck, but he elected to play the 2-on-1 and retreat.
Oilers haven't lodged on the Dashers. Finally worked free by Petrovic. He'll guide one over to Ritskovian. Kulak able to retrieve. Regula driven hard around the boards, taken by Tomasik. Checked off the puck by Bishop. Loose, quick shot, kind of floated down. Kulak was just trying to get it down low, more than actually shooting it toward the net. Ritskovian and Petrovic helped dig it out for Dallas. Bastian cut off. Longtime member of the New Jersey Devils. Actually had 2 separate stints in Jersey. Kulak to Podkolzin. First game for Edmonton against a team that finished higher than the Oilers in the standings last year. Edmonton finished 9th overall. Here's Draisaitl. Carrying. Dishing. Nurse. One-timer Wallman and a kick save made by DeSmith. Nurse pounds one on that save. DeSmith did not catch it cleanly. Johnston off the boards. Nurse, a great job to keep it in. Wrist shot toward the net. Save DeSmith point blank on Roslovic. He can't believe it. 13:48 left in regulation. Edmonton 2-1. McDavid misses, making it 3-1 by an eyelash.
Couldn't tuck that around. Casey DeSmith, who's been aggressive in cutting down angles, and it works for him there on that one.
And to your earlier point, Louis, seemingly a resolve by the Oilers not to sit back and keep pushing against this Dallas club, mindful of the fact their lead is only a goal. Blackwell, Ritskovian. Swarmed under. Trying to fish it out of there was Regula, and he did a nice job. Continues to be pestered, but then a good look for Matt Savoy. It's that kind of puck moving ability that Regula demonstrated in camp that caught the eye of the staff. He was not the odds-on favorite to necessarily make this hockey club.
The top break for him got hurt against the Canucks on the 11th of October, game 2. Big Evander Kane hit.
Regula took it away from Bork, and now Trent Frederick. Dallas, for whatever reason, not credited with that shot that Louis showed you a moment ago, but the greater point being Edmonton has controlled the play here in the third.
And that's the key, control, Jack.
Bork moves his way in against Connor McDavid. He's able to come up with a puck, send one up to Nugent Hopkins. Heiskanen. First on it, Sagan. Now Bork snatched away. Mangiapane. Nugent Hopkins cross ice, reach shot, score. Connor McDavid. 3-1 Edmonton.
Well, that's some control right there for Edmonton. Transitional play. And McDavid, we just saw him ring the bar earlier in this period. This time he makes it count. Beautiful passing here. Mangiapane kind of drives this one down the middle. It's the backtrack by him. And so often you see goals scored after a great defensive play. The speed to come back, break up the play in the neutral zone. And it's Mangiapane that sets it in motion, gets his feet moving on the drive, gives it to Nugent Hopkins. Beautiful pass across. One pass from Mangiapane, second from Nugent Hopkins. And McDavid's not going to make a mistake from there. He buries it. 3-1 Edmonton. That's a huge goal.
I told you he'd like this building.
He does like this building.
Point 12 in a row against the Dallas Stars. He's got a goal and an assist tonight. And that one a damaging blow against, again, a club that's dead last in the league right now. In 5-on-5 scoring.
And a team that's been pretty comfortable in one-goal games. 8 of the 12 games they've played this year have been one-goal games for the Stars. And for Glenn Gulletson, he said, hey, we're okay in those tight games. Tries a big goal by Edmonton.
Well, to your point, they've also won 5 of the 8. So they are comfortable because they're getting into the win column. And I don't know about you, but I think Dallas is going to have to go that route until they get some of their horses back. Here's Wyatt Johnston. Rink wide. Redmond shoots and scores. That's his second of the game. And Dallas puts itself right back in it. 3-2 with still more than 11 minutes to go.
There's that word again, comfort. And they're not going to go away. And they recognize this, and you hit the nail on the head, Jack. This is a team that knows they have some of their big players out of the lineup. Other guys are getting opportunities. They're playing a team game. They have to play hard. This is the big line going to work once again. They've had chances all night. And it's Wyatt Johnston. Nice transitional pass up the ice. Gets a little stop up. Throws this to the middle. Decoy by Robertson. And it's Ranton in the trailer that's in behind Robertson that picks this puck up. He's ready for it. Skate, bobble, let it go. Doesn't have to be pretty, but he picks his spot. He buries it past Stuart Skinner on the blocker side. It's a one-goal game.
Sent out a play off the center ice draw. That's goal number 301 for Rantanen. 2 tonight, 7 on the year. And it's clutch from a Dallas standpoint because Edmonton had really sapped the life out of this crowd. And for the Stars to get a goal only 46 seconds later gives them real hope. Petrovic will get a second assist on the scoring play. 3-2. Ritzkovian inside Colin Blackwell, and his shot deflected and ricochets out of play.
Patience, and that's the way you have to play the game. When I talk about control, it's don't force plays. Make sure you're managing the puck up and down the ice. Put it into places you can go to battle and not hurt yourselves. Credit the Stars for that quick transitional play again. It was a neutral zone pass up the ice to Wyatt Johnston, and he just lets it go. And it was Petrovic that makes the quick pass to Johnston. He saw him wide. He gives it to him. Johnston punches through to the offensive zone, and give him credit for the ability to kick that puck from skate to stick.
Wrap around by Adam Ernie and a save made by Stuart Skinner. Here come the Oilers hustling it up the right-hand side. Louis, it's early November. Let's not pretend it's not, but what do you think of Edmonton's ability to close this out? Is there some importance here? Is it an early gut check?
Well, we showed the graphic of 5 times this year where 2 or more goals have been erased by the opposition. So, yeah, It is. You can't make that a habit. That has to be something you have to nip in the bud, and you have to come together as a team. Now it's back-to-back. Does fatigue start to become a factor here? Even more important to let the puck do the work for you. But it's grit time. Let's dig in.
Tyler Seguin tried to shovel it in. McDavid got a piece. Sam Steele and Blackwell crowd the puck in the offensive zone. Bouchard's able to bust up the cycle and deliver an outlet to Nugent Hopkins. Steele will backhand it in deep. Midway point of the third period. Edmonton's lead has been trimmed to 3-2. Blackwell inside looking for Seguin, broken up. McDavid up ice. Crisscrosses with Nugent Hopkins. That looked offside, and a late whistle from our linesman Tyson Baker and Ben O'Quinn. 9:53 to go in the third period. Ekholm and Seguin getting into it. McDavid extends to a 3-1 lead, but Rantanen has given the Stars life.
Track, go backwards.
Johnston winning a face-off from Draisaitl in the neutral zone. Edmonton has led pretty much all the way. Here's Draisaitl, a steal, dishing off. Roslovic shoots, and a glove save made by Casey DeSmith. Connor McDavid, a goal and an assist tonight. Robertson looking right side for Ilya Lyubushkin. Hard off the stick of Wallman. Robertson trying to protect. Nurse comes away with a loose puck. Didn't get it out. Harley to the middle. Rantanen, who's had 8 hat tricks in his career. He's got 2 tonight as it's flung in by Draisaitl. Long toss looking for Rantanen. That's stolen away by Adam Henrique and forced back into the Dallas zone. Harley to Adam Ernie. 9 minutes remain. Bouchard and Ekholm come over. Adam Henrique. Steele toppled. Henrique, the smart play to the open man in the slot. And then Savoy with beautiful touch finding Frederick. Back to Savoy, who wanted to go to Henrique, only to have it tugged free and cleared by Tyler Seguin. Hacked back in by Ekholm. This may be icing, though, against Edmonton, and that's the whistle with 8:28 to go in the third. And our score 3-2 Edmonton.
A little too much on that one. Flip into the zone. Here's a good job again. Draisaitl picks this one off. And as it goes through Podkolzin, there's a collision with those two. Roslovic with another good chance fended off with the glove of DeSmith. Podkolzin a little shaken up on that one as Rantanen went right through him. Those two guys have gone at it all game long.
Ritzkovian, the rookie out of Northeastern University, had a 20-goal season in the American Hockey League last year. Chipped off the boards and out. Ekholm heeled in by McDavid. That eluded Casey DeSmith. The action on the puck. Heiskanen was unable to get it out. Eventually carried by Bourque. Lead pass broken up by Wallman, and that sails into the crowd. That rocket. Luckily no one injured as it sailed into about the 6th-7th row. Connor McDavid, a goal and an assist. Silly Podkolzin opened the game scoring.
He's so important in this third period to have that backtracking like you saw right there. Good stick to deflect it up over top of the glass. You're maintaining a 1-goal lead again after the second goal by Rantanen, his 7th in this third period. There's Glenn Gulletson with some instructions for his troops. But for Edmonton, there's got to be that buy-in to come back every single shift and not allow easy entries for the Stars.
Bob Stauffer talked about how this is Gulletson's second crack at the head coaching job of the Stars. First time around, Dallas was not a cap team. That's an icing against the Stars. It was a different scenario.
Yeah. The only player still remaining is Jamie Benn. He said that this morning. So it's a completely different organization and players, and he's really excited for the opportunity. He knows this team well. Went up against them, obviously, in the last couple conference finals with the Edmonton Oilers, and it's good to see him. Like I said, when you see players coming down the hallway, I know Gene showed that video footage of Hyman coming down. You saw Troy Stetcher come down, say hi. I mean, that means a lot. Those are friendships that you built. Calvin Pickard went through some great battles together, and Gully was very well respected.
Only got 2 years in Dallas and Calgary, but he's never had a losing season as a head coach. There's a shot by Johnson. Rebound, score! Heiskanen takes advantage of a friendly hop off the end boards, and we are tied.
Seen a couple of these hard caroms off the back wall that have resulted in goals. We saw Robert Thomas with a similar one last night from a sharp angle. Get to the spot. This one goes off the skate of Darnell Nurse, so he blocks the shot, but if you watch the direction that it comes off the wall, it goes right to Heiskanen, who just gets to his spot quicker. Watch him activate. Once he puts the Jets on, he kind of flies by. And what looked like wasn't going to be a real good opportunity, this puck just comes right to him. He gets to it first. This is a tie game.
Johnston and Rantanen on Heiskanen's third of the year. Louis, we talked about Dallas basically being down to a one-line team with all the injuries, and even on the power play, that's the line that's done the damage.
It has done damage, and their defense aren't afraid to activate. You just saw there Heiskanen gets to a spot. You know, he comes in from behind, and he knows, he's looking, going, okay, nobody sees me coming. I'm going to take the ice, but it's too late now. Nugent Hopkins looks and says he's there, and it's a wide open net. For Stuart Skinner, he's got to stand his ground on that shot attempt, but it goes off the skate of Darnell Nurse. Call it a lucky bounce if you want, but Heiskanen, great recognition by him to kind of get up the ice. One of the best skating defensemen in the game. He finds it.
Quick wrist shot off the draw, handled by DeSmith against Jack Roslovic, who continues to be dangerous. The Stars able to clear, and Edmonton is offside. 7:24 to go. You mentioned, is it a lucky bounce? Louis, the other thing is that part of home ice? Do you know as a player where that's going?
I think for Heiskanen, he knows he's down by a goal. You're 8 minutes left in the game. He's trying to make something happen. So he's such a great skater. He knows that if he activates, he can just button hook back and he's going to be back in position, right? So he's, you know, thinking optimistically, maybe something will happen. Maybe the rebound comes off the right pad of Stuart Skinner. It comes hard carom off the back wall right to him. So give him credit for that recognition. Now Edmonton, we just talked about it. Coming through the neutral zone, you've got to pick up guys. You have to have your man coming to the net. He gets lost. 3-3 game. 6th time now for Edmonton. They've given up a 2 or more goal lead.
2 goals on 4 shots here in the third period for the Dallas Stars. And the game tied at 3. As Louis and I talked about, Edmonton in the first 10 minutes of the period did a real good job of stifling the attack, but now Dallas continues to come in waves. And here's Sam Steele grabbing a puck and swinging it down low. Beck won't get there. Labushkin steps up, scoops back to Beck, guided to Steele, up top for Harley. Steele. Centering pass, quick shot, Beck had it blocked by Bouchard. That time in the lane. Labushkin shovels down low as we approach 6.5 minutes on the game clock. Game tied at 3. It had not been tied since the 3.5-minute mark of the first period. Roslovic outfoxed for the puck down low. Trickles in front, Sagan a shot over the crossbar, rebound Labushkin. Dallas once again has Edmonton hemmed in here. But Colson scoots away. And after a minute in the offensive zone, Dallas sees it clear. Draisaitl couldn't get started on the right-hand side, but Edmonton's able to roll over its lines. Here's Mikko Rantanen with 2 goals and an assist tonight. Gives it back to Robertson. Quick shot, save Skinner. Juggled for a moment and then held with 5:56 to play in regulation. We are tied at 3. Dallas has battled back. And Heiskanen with the equalizer on Sportsnet.
Blue Jackets, Flames, Wednesday on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet West.
Our Enercare technicians are experts at heating and cooling, water heating, and water purification. We can help you with a range of affordable solutions to help your home run smoothly.
Enercare, experts at home.
Scarborough. We live up the hill from Toronto, but it's always us fighting an uphill battle. Yet we climb high without hesitation, because sitting tight doesn't sit well with us. Caring for more people than anyone thought possible. Solving problems no one else faces. All heart, all grit, all uphill. Donate at lovescarborough.ca.
Mom, Dad, I just got married!
To who?
Paulo del Castillo.
Can you go to the bank and wire money to Spain for our honeymoon?
That is a huge mistake.
Whose child are you?
I don't understand.
Honey, banks hide fees and transfers and exchange rates. Your mom's sending you money right now with Wise. It's faster, and Wise never hides fees.
Gracias. I'm already fluent.
Congratulations.
Make good choices.
It's too late.
You could save up to 55% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise.
This period brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of no payments, no interest for 1 year.
Well, the third period looked like Edmonton had created a buffer here. Nice passing play, Mangiapane to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. McDavid makes it 3-1, but the Dallas Stars have stormed back here with 2 unanswered goals. Wyatt Johnston, nice pass by Petrovic up the ice to him, and he finds Rantanen, who corrals it, fires it 3-2. And then this one again, it's Johnston again. This one, Karamzov to skate, off the boards hard, and Miro Heiskanen's the first one to get to it, and he ties the game 3-3.
Face-off win for Rantanen. Shot Lindell, sailed wide, blocker side, rebound Wyatt Johnston. He's on it, he shoots, and that was blocked. Came back into the Dallas zone. Heiskanen, who scored moments ago to tie it, advanced through to Jason Robertson. Rantanen bottled up in the neutral zone. Draisaitl to McDavid. They're on the ice together, 5-on-5. McDavid a backhander, and that stayed out. Might have clipped the outside of the post. A steal by Ekholm, a quick dish. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Roslovic on this 5-on-5 shift for Edmonton. And now joining us, Mangiapane. Here's Heiskanen getting it back and swatting it toward the net. Ekholm thought that went on a play. It did not leave the surface and held in by Bishop.
This is Chris Knobloch's way of countering that big line for Dallas, who's had a lot of looks in this game, have scored the 2 third-period goals to tie it. So a little bolstering of the roster and line for Draisaitl, McDavid out there to kind of settle that down, maybe push it back in their favor.
Bishop cut off a lead pass intended for Podkolzin. He'll track it down. It's swung up the right-hand side. Nugent-Hopkins being moved back to center now with Podkolzin and Roslovic. As Chris Knobloch, a little line shuffle here in the third. Podkolzin drop past Roslovic. Nugent-Hopkins. Wallman across. Nurse. Roslovic. Showing one-timer. Wallman dishes. Nurse is open, and he fires wide. And then Wallman toe-picked as he tried to get the rebound. But Nugent-Hopkins, the defensive conscience of this team, able to easily glide back and control for Edmonton and allow a line change to develop. 4 minutes to play. Regula. Left side snapped in deep by Henrique. Quickly to Smith up the right-hand side. Thomas Harley. And you understand why Chris Knobloch didn't make the move earlier, Louis, because the Stars weren't doing anything. It's when they make the push. I agree. Good adjustment to counter a top-heavy Dallas lineup with respect to injuries. Sam Steele to Sagan. They'll flip it in and change. Regula around the boards. Savoy taken by Sagan. Gulak with Johnston crowding him. An outlet. Henrique won't get there. Heiskanen. Oscar Beck nearly at his pocket pick. Johnston couldn't get started. Rantanen had to hold up to keep it onside. Bouchard and Kulak will control for Edmonton as we go inside. 3 minutes to play. McDavid and Draisaitl back on the ice with Mangiapane. McDavid gains the line. Dishes off. A blast Ekholm. A blocker save made by DeSmith. Draisaitl swings it out. Bouchard. McDavid pursued by Heiskanen inside Mangiapane. His shot blocked. Mangiapane with a steal on Heiskanen. Draisaitl from behind. Dishing. Bouchard's shot didn't get all he wanted. And Johnston with a soft chip back through the middle. Ekholm looking right side for McDavid. He missed him, and that's going to be an icing call against Edmonton.
Everybody loves a comeback story, and this one is written in the stars. Jasper, happy happens here.
Well, the desired effect on that shift as the top line of Edmonton hemming in the Johnston line in the offensive zone.
Do you think there's an inherent challenge in there? Okay,
yeah.
Dallas's top players have brought them back. Now you guys go win it.
100%. It's double. You know, it's a double down. That, the challenge to, hey, let's get things going. It's 3-3. We can still win this thing, but also we need to kind of weather a storm here. That top line back-to-back goals in succession, 5-on-5.
Nurse off a Dallas dump in to Nugent Hopkins.
And fatigue is a factor here. You're starting to see Edmonton make some little subtle misses on plays, passes on the stick that aren't converting. Back-to-back situation. They played 15 games this year. This is starting to take a little bit of a toll. And I think for Chris Knobloch, he wants to load up the big line to give them a little juice too.
9 of those 15 on the road, and there's more road games coming. This is a stretch of 17 out of 24 where the Oilers will play away from Rogers Place, where, oh, by the way, they have points in every game this year. 4-0-2. Frederick denied entry at the Dallas line. Harley with 1:20 to play, and the game tied at 3. Sent it in off Regula's stick. Sam Steele on the puck. These two teams last year meeting in the West Final. Dallas got 5 in the third period to win game 1 and then trailed in every period thereafter as Edmonton took charge of the series and outscored Dallas 19-5 over the final 4 games. 1 minute to play. Best on best, Louis.
Why not?
Draisaitl and McDavid out there. Johnston, Robertson, Rantanen for Dallas. McDavid up the left-hand side. Did Mangiapane get a piece? He did not. It's icing against Edmonton with 37 seconds to go.
It'll take a little bit of time to get back here. Regula's the defenseman that's stuck on the ice here. Can't get over to the bench on that icing call.
Shots are even. Goals are even. Final minute. Two teams that may very well see one another again and again and again.
And Kulak, for that matter. Sorry, he did get off. That cone came on, but they made him go back to the bench.
So here's Johnson against Draisaitl. Draisaitl bears down, wins the face-off, and Kulak goes on the attack. Mangiapane. Draisaitl. Inside, broken up. Here's Robertson. Chugging the other way for Dallas. Hits the line. Shot off the rush. Misses. And the rebound kicked off the glass and did get out of play with roughly 18 seconds left. They may take a quick look.
We've seen that release from Robertson a few times. It's amazing how it comes off the stick for him. And I remember Peter DeBoer saying that it was Rick Bowness, maybe. I'm trying to remember, that said that his shots like Luc Robitaille. Look at this little toe drag brings, changes the angle, and just has that knack of kind of getting to the spot on time. He releases it quickly and hard to pick up.
Game 3 of the 24 series, Robertson had a hat trick. Dallas went up 2-1, led 2-0 in game 4. Edmonton came back to win game 4 and closed it out in 5 and 6. Here's Robertson. Final 5 seconds. This one looks like it's heading for overtime. Off balance, cleared back to center, and indeed will settle it 3-on-3, where Edmonton has won a league-high 69 games since they instituted the 3-on-3 a decade ago.
This 3-on-3 5-minute overtime will begin shortly. And if the score remains
Go over a game plan here for the extra. A little scrape of the ice here as all coaches huddle together, and I think it's safe to say who's going to start for Edmonton.
You think? McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, of course.
They've had a couple overtime wins this year. It was Jake Wallman in his first game in Ottawa. That blast right by the ear of Allmark wins it in overtime for Edmonton, and one we just saw the other night in Edmonton. Evan Bouchard, beautiful passing play. McDavid to Draisaitl, Draisaitl to Bouchard, and he puts in his own rebound on Saturday night for their second overtime win.
Dallas is 0-2 in overtime this season. The Stars without, again, Rope Hintz, Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn, all of whom would likely see a little overtime.
Essentially your #1 centerman, your top scorer from last year in Duchene, and your captain in Jamie Benn. So some key veteran players too that just provide that stability. Rope Hintz, you know, is one of those guys that when he's healthy can skate forever, it seems.
So indeed, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard to start the overtime session for the Oilers. You mentioned Dallas's propensity for 1-goal games. This is going to be 9 out of 13 for Dallas, and for the Oilers, 9 out of 15 will be decided by a goal. McDavid looking at that Dallas bench. He and Draisaitl, for certain, an affinity with Glenn Gulutzan over the years. One of the architects of some of the game's greatest power plays. All right, here's the faceoff. Draisaitl so good on these, typically for first possession. We're going to do it again. That was one that Steele won, and Steele's saying, hey, McDavid's in early. Why am I penalized for winning the draw?
Who can get the jump more effectively and undetected?
And Draisaitl overpowers Steele to get the first possession. I think if Steele won the faceoff, he was going to come off. But now he'll stay out there with Lindell and Heiskanen. Indicative of the respect that Dallas have for this Edmonton threesome. 2 defensemen on the ice to start the overtime. Draisaitl hits the line. McDavid on the weave against Heiskanen. Spins, and Heiskanen took it away. And now Dallas has possession. Heiskanen up ice. Sam Steele. Heiskanen, point blank, no shot, now fires, and a save made by Stuart Skinner. With Heiskanen lurking, he's forced to freeze it, and now Dallas may choose to go with a different set of 3.
Yeah, good poise and patience by Heiskanen, too. Tried to get Skinner off the wall. There's the turnover, and the good defensive play by Heiskanen on McDavid. They've seen a lot of each other in this one. Lindell, too, in that pairing. And for Glenn Gulutzan, he's seen a lot of Draisaitl, McDavid in overtime. He wants to have a defensive component to that 3 that are going to defend, and Heiskanen kind of fakes like he's going to go to the middle, waits for Skinner to get off the post. Good job by Skinner to hold his ground.
48th 1-goal game that Edmonton's going to be involved in over the last year plus, the most in the league. Here's Henrique. This is an opportunity for Nurse. He's got Nugent Hopkins in front. He centers, and it went off the pads. Casey DeSmith had nowhere to move the puck because Nurse got in there, and as a result, Dallas has to be content with the draw on its own end.
Yeah, Harley pressured Nurse here, and you know, he thought he might be able to get to this puck. Nurse with his speed gets up the ice and tries to throw this on the backhand side, as Nugent Hopkins had kind of drove himself right to the net, looking for that little tap in front.
Here's Roslovic taking the draw against Rantanen and won it cleanly.
Too clean.
Nurse chases it down. Nugent Hopkins. It's the Dallas line. Feathers one down low. Roslovic caught a bit of an edge. Nugent Hopkins there with support. Works himself free for Darnell Nurse. He's had the overtime touch on more than one occasion. Nugent Hopkins. Beautiful move. Cuts to the net. Roslovic a shot, and that was blocked by Harley. Comes away with it to Wyatt Johnston, and now McDavid and Draisaitl come on late. Offside. Robertson was offside on the left wing. Edmonton got caught in a bit of a change there, Louis. Mistake Dallas.
Yeah. Edmonton got a little lucky there, as Robertson looked like he was all alone, and just a little hesitation at the line by Harley, but you could tell McDavid and Draisaitl were jumping over the boards, and they were coming. This is a 2-on-1, and Robertson just gets a little bit too ahead of himself, trying to get into the zone, recognizing it was a good chance, and Harley maybe took that a little too wide, didn't recognize it was a 2-on-1. That's a break.
Somehow I knew the forward would blame the defenseman.
I'm not blaming anybody.
No, you're right.
That's an opportunity right there. You're not getting back. That's a 2-on-1 for sure, all the way from the blue line in overtime.
And there was that little extra move, as you talked about, might have thrown off Robertson's timing. In the meantime, Draisaitl wins the faceoff, and now he dashes up ice, trying to beat Lindell. He stumbled, unable to keep it alive, and Draisaitl's down and out, so it's 3-on-2. Lindell, open man in front, Sagan can't win it. It went off the pad of Skinner, and here come the Oilers. McDavid charging in against Lindell. Heiskanen came over, wrestled the puck free. Lindell churning the legs with Sagan. It's a 2-on-1. Bouchard back. Lindell. Sagan never got there. It was tipped. And now Draisaitl battling. Both teams look exhausted. Bouchard with 2.5 to go. We're halfway through the overtime. McDavid. Still plenty of room for Draisaitl, denied. Good save by Casey DeSmith. Bouchard will swing it back smartly to Skinner, and he'll change. An exhausted Draisaitl's going to get off.
You don't see those guys out of gas like that too often. Grinding.
McDavid changes. Jake Wallman has come on the ice with Mangiapane and Podkolzin. Mangiapane hard behind the net. Sam Steele trying to run him off that puck. Wallman comes over. He went off the mask and in against Ottawa. He's going to reset here. Podkolzin streaking down the right-hand side. He'll challenge Rantanen. Poke free. Podkolzin in front and had it taken away. Rantanen up ice for Robertson. Dallas is onside. Robertson loads, dishes. Rantanen. Remember, he's got the 2 goals already. Robertson loads up. Can't make a play. Well defended by Wallman. Now he'll shoot, and that was blocked. Dallas on the rebound. Sam Steele for Rantanen. 3 forwards on the ice for Dallas in front. Robertson can't finish. Seal tried to center, and that was broken up. Edmonton really going to have to dig deep here.
Yeah, and it's a long change in overtime. Hard to get to that bench.
Rantanen. Dallas will change. He shoots, and that might have kissed the collarbone of Stuart Skinner. Mangiapane doesn't get it out. Wyatt Johnston trying to plow through. Final minute of overtime. Rantanen peers inside. Heiskanen. The 3 Oilers have been on for 90 seconds plus. Johnston. Rantanen. Around Podkolzin to the net. No shot. Rantanen loads, leads, shoots, blocked. Rebound will curl outside the zone. Mangiapane's exhausted, but he's able to reach center and get it in deep. Edmonton, one more change with 25 seconds left in a pulsating overtime. Heiskanen. Johnston wants a change. Heiskanen. And he spun himself into the corner. Bouchard under control. 10 seconds to go. Bouchard to his right. Harley defends. And we're heading to a shootout.
You want to talk about leaving it on the ice. I mean, empty gas tanks around for everyone. Get the oxygen out. Some long shifts defending and just leaving it out there. Back-to-back situation. I think fatigue really started to take a toll in this overtime. You could just see it. Here's a great chance in tight. Tyler Seguin just could not knock that one down in the air. Then Evan Bouchard with some good defense here as he knocks that one away. Would have certainly been a one-timer for Seguin, who loves to shoot that puck in that position. Quick little release by Draisaitl earlier, fended off with the blocker by DeSmith. So a couple good chances, but you watch Draisaitl there. I mean, he could barely get back to the bench.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent, Hopkins, the likely 3 for Edmonton in the shootout. The Oilers have lost the only shootout they played this year. Stuart Skinner in that shootout stopped 6 of 8. It went 8 rounds. And it was on opening night before Nazem Kadri finally won it for the Calgary Flames. Dallas is 1-1 in shootouts. Casey DeSmith lost his only one. Career DeSmith is actually just 3-9 in the shootout. Skinner 3-5. Edmonton's going to shoot first here. Often the home team elects to shoot first, but here's McDavid coming out.
Shooting first for the Edmonton Oilers.
For his career, 44%. McDavid head-to-head against Casey DeSmith. He had a goal and an assist in regulation. Edmonton led 2-0 and 3-1. Dallas rallied to force first overtime and now a shootout, and here we go. McDavid. Wide turn, he'll bring it in on to Smith. And have it poked away.
Good stick. And he gets right out of the net. McDavid with a real wide turn here to go by the boards, walk in, looking to open up something as he brings his puck back to the middle. Can do so many things in that position. And DeSmith says, no way. That's just a good active stick at the right moment. You take a gamble, it works.
Robertson, 56% in his career. Takes it out wide, brings it in on Skinner, and scores. Top right corner. Leon Draisaitl up next for Edmonton.
Picks his spot, comes in, picks his spot, had some good chances during the game with that wicked release that he has. Again, coming wide, and then just brings it from outside, inside, under the bar, glove hand. Yeah, he almost went too quick.
Draisaitl, 36%, again out wide. Brings it to the middle. Backhander, score! What a move! Leon Draisaitl outlasts Casey DeSmith and tucks it inside the right post.
That was a beauty. I mean, just comes in, fake, fake, fake. Always have to respect that quick release. The big paddle brings it from forehand and wraps it around backhand. Just tucks it in.
Rantanen, 30%. Shoots high. He was looking for that same top right corner, but didn't hit the net. And now we go to a third round with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins coming over the boards for the Oilers, 34% in his career.
Now shooting for the Edmonton Oilers, number 93, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Teams are even. Round 3 of the shootout. Nugent-Hopkins bearing down. Denied. And Dallas can win it right here. And they'll go to Wyatt Johnston.
Now shooting for your Dallas Stars.
1 of 6 in the shootout for his career. Johnston to win it for the Stars. In on Skinner. Scores! Beat him glove side, and the Stars rally from 3-1 down with 11.5 to play to emerge with a 4-3 shootout decision.
Picked his spot. Came down again. They all came down from an angle. Rantanen's the only lefty that took the shots for the Stars. Both righties. Sorry, 2 lefties and 1 righty, and Johnston goes left, far side. Same spot that Robertson scored as a lefty. Valiant effort. They came back from a 2-0 deficit.
Do you think the second of a back-to-back caught up to Edmonton?
Definitely caught up to him late in the third, and I thought overtime. You just saw guys that were out of gas battling, just couldn't convert, and the Stars started to feel that, I think, and push the issue a little bit more. Only 3-2 in shots in overtime for the Stars, but they had the puck on their stick a lot.
Final 4-3 Dallas in a shootout.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Rogers 5G Plus network. Plus it up with 5G Plus plans that give you more on Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network. And by Molson. We've been everywhere because we're for everyone. Molson, everyone in.
Tonight's play of the game brought to you by the Rogers 5G Plus Network. Plus it up on Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network.
Ryan Johnston comes into on the left-hand side as a right-handed shot. He had 3 assists in the game, contributed all 3 goals that the Dallas Stars scored, and he finishes this one off with a quick release. Just looks down to make sure that puck's a little bit flat. Bang. From distance, doesn't get too close to Skinner, and he's able to put that one by him.
4-3, the Stars outlast the Oilers in a shootout. Let's get a look at tonight's Molson 3 stars.
Connor McDavid goal and assist in this one. 3rd star, Mikko Rantanen, strong game for the Stars. He also contributed on all 3 goals, 2 goals and an assist for the Stars. And Jack Roslovic, 2 nice assists, 2-0 lead for Edmonton. He had the primary assist on both of those 2 goals to get things started for Edmonton, 1st star.
So the Oilers come up empty on the back-to-back. The week ahead on Sportsnet tomorrow, Toronto plays host to Utah. We'll have it for you 6:30 Eastern, 4:30 Mountain on Sportsnet. And then the nightcap, Calgary welcomes Columbus to town. That's 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern on Sportsnet West and Sportsnet 1. Louie and I on Hockey Night in Canada with Gene Principe. It'll be Edmonton, Colorado, 8 Mountain, 10 Eastern, Sportsnet and CBC. The Edmonton Oilers see a 3-1 lead evaporate into a 4-3 Dallas shootout decision. On deck, Sportsnet Central presented by KFC with Tim and Jesse. From the Lone Star State and for Gene Principe and Louis DeBrusque, I'm Jack Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours.